Good afternoon, everybody. This is Teresa here with the origami lesson today. We're going to be doing the peacock, this little guy here. And this will be the only video I'm doing this week, just a heads up. So I'll be taking the next 2 weeks off. Have some travel plans and stuff going on. Alright, so let's get to... Alright, so the first thing I've got is my paper. I've done a pink plain with the pattern on the top, and with this I want the pattern on the inside because I want that to kind of show up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pattern up and the plain on the outside. That way it should show up on the inside there. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a triangle. And always making sure your corners are nice and lined up and squared off. And again, tight crease. And we're going to fold it into a smaller triangle. Again, lining up our corners. Tight creases as usual. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open this up and we're going to make this into a square. Just by pushing that down, we're going to make this corner meet these corners, and again making sure that this doesn't come undone. Line them all up, and then just like that. From here, and I'm just going to reverse this one here. And I just want to do that so I can get that good tight crease. So it should be able to stand up on its own, just like that. And we're going to fold this one down into a square as well. And again, making sure that these don't want to move. Just fold them down into a nice square. And again, tight creases. Like that. Alright, so we're going to take the first one here, we're going to fold one flap, sorry I have the hiccups now, one flap into the center line here with the open end pointing down. So we're just going to fold in just like that. So we've got it angled center, and then we're going to fold this one over as well. We're going to meet it in the center here. Just like that. Alright, and then what we're going to do, we're going to fold across this, just this top part here, all the way down, and nice tight crease, and then you can actually let that one go back up. And we're going to open this all the way open, and we're going to pull it open and make it a nice wide mouth, and then we're going to fold in, and fold in, so that it just follows the line that we already made. Just like that. And same with this side here. So it's open like this, just like that. Now, we only are going to do it on the one side. Usually we would do the same thing to the other side, but we want to keep it just the one side so that we can open and make our nice wide open fan for the peacock tail. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this down for a second, and what we're going to do is we're going to fold this backwards along that line we made earlier, the crease we made earlier, and that's just going to get tucked in there, and then we can forget about it. So now it's tucked in, so it's just facing backward. Alright, so once we've got this, what we're going to do is going to take this piece, and because it's open, we're going to take this piece here, and we're going to fold it so that it matches up against this line on an angle, just like this. So we don't want to go past the center there, and we're going to fold it so it lines up with that center crease there, and it's going to point out like that. Then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Just like that. So once you've got that, you can see where we're already looking with our nice feather here. So that's what it's going to look like when we're done later. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to make the head. And this kind of seems funny at the minute, but once we do this, it'll make a little more sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to go about a thumb width, not too far in, and we're going to fold it into the center. And again, we want to make sure that it's lined up. So we don't want it folded like that. We want to make sure the tip is lined up with the center, and that will make sure that it's always folded nice and square. And we're going to fold it like that. And then we're going to fold what essentially becomes the face here. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this tip back. And we don't want to make it a big head because that would be really, really funny looking. So I'm going to go with about a pinky width, maybe 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And you can play with it, make sure it's bigger or less. You can do whatever you want with that. And if it's too big when you fold it later, you can fix it. So it's not so big of a deal. Alright, so once we've got our little head here, we're going to just kind of move that out of the way for a second. And what we're going to do is we're going to fan our feathers. So we've got like an accordion kind of thing going on here. So we're going to do that with these. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take one side and we're going to fold it so that it matches up just like that. So all I did was fold it in half so that it matched here, and we'll do the same thing to the other side. Just like that. And if you want more space to maneuver, you can just leave that tucked to the side for now and hold it here. And then we're going to fold this back towards the first fold. So you see like an accordion style kind of fold. So all I'm doing is folding it in half, essentially. So I folded it in half. Now I'm going to fold this in half so it kind of folds. But all I'm doing is folding to the top. I don't want to go past, right? So once I've got that, I'm going to do the same to the other side. And you can do it one side at a time, but I find it much easier to keep track of where you are when you're doing accordion folds like this if you do them in sequence together. And everything's balanced that way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold this over. And you see that we have a big space here. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half. Just like that. Right? So it ends up really, really, really narrow. And I'm going to show you the side view here so you can see. So you have fold, and it gets kind of folded down like that. And we're going to just leave that for now, and we'll do the other side. So again, I'm just folding it over, and then folding it in half here. And all I'm doing is folding it to this first crease that we originally made. So I don't want it too many creases. Alright, now we're going to tuck that back in there, now that we've got our first initial folds. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to fold this whole thing in half. Now the really tricky part is you got to make sure everything on the inside here, so this flap here is tucked in, and make sure everything is folded, and make sure everything is folded in half nice, neat, and then push really hard, and make sure nice tight creases. And at this point, it should look like that. Which I know you're thinking is, but that doesn't look anything like this. Alright, so once we've got this, what we're going to do is carefully move all the way up. And what you see here is all it's going to do is want to automatically, when you pull this up, it wants to go straight. That's good. And it won't go past this crease here. You can pull, but all you're going to do is rip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up into this angle and gently get it into crease there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this, but I'm going to pull it out a little bit. And all I'm going to do is twist it so that it's facing forward. Just like that. And you can make it bigger or smaller when you need to. So if you made it really big by accident, you can fix it and make it a little bit smaller. So right now you should have just like that. Alright. So if we hold it like this, it kind of looks like this. But what we're going to do now is we're going to actually make this an accordion style fold, just like we did with this. And it's a little bit tricky because there's already a bunch of folds here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to carefully, very, very carefully, unfold a little bit. And I'm holding here just so it doesn't unravel all the way. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this center, and we're going to fold the whole thing backwards. And it looks kind of funny. And trust me, it's hard. But the first time you do it. So what we're going to do is pinch here and kind of fold it in on itself. And you see where it's wanting to fold. So I've got it here, and then we're going to fold it, and I've got it folding so that it's about a good finger thickness, and then we can just kind of squish that whole unit together, and it'll make our first fold for us. So you see all I did was just kind of push it all together and fold it in on itself. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that and bring it all the way back in on itself again. And we're going to unfold it, but hold here. And this is the worst part about this one. So we're going to do about a thumb thickness into here. And we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go upwards. And then we're going to do a third one so it goes backwards. And it's just kind of an accordion, and then it'll fold. And then you just kind of pull everything open, and then you have an accordion. And if you want, you can do one more, the small one here, if you really want to, but I would recommend just doing the 2 or 3 that we have originally. And then all you do is just very carefully pull this. You don't want to pull it all the way open, but you can pull it open so that it stays nice and straight out this way. And there you go. You have a nice little peacock. Alright. Thank you very much for watching, you guys. Hope you guys have a good week. And I'll post on Facebook when I'm going to start back up with my live videos. It'll be about 2 weeks. And thank you again for watching.